Hey everyone who listening. Here is channel UFO Dreams. Today we are calmly exploring the most mysterious encounters in the ocean, from strange lights above the water to anomalous signals in the bottomless depths, to separate fact from fiction. Make yourself comfortable, and we are starting. Chapter 1. A quiet sea lane. The ocean is a world of its own, vast and deep, covering most of our planet in a shifting blanket of blue and gray. On its surface, human life exists in small, isolated points of light. A research vessel, the Stellamar, is one such point, moving slowly through a quiet sea lane hundreds of miles from the nearest shore. The night is clear and calm. The moon is a silver sliver, casting a gentle, shimmering path on the water. On the bridge of the Stellamar, the night watch continues. This is the heart of the ship, a space of quiet concentration. The air is cool and still, filled with the low, steady hum of the engines far below. It is a sound that becomes part of the silence, a constant reassurance that the ship is alive and well. The only light comes from the instrument panels, which glow with a soft, warm red. This light is designed to protect the crew's night vision, allowing them to see both the data on their screens and the deep darkness outside the wide windows. A lone officer stands at the window, his silhouette dark against the stardusted sky. His job is to watch, to observe the endless horizon. The routine of the night watch is a meditation. Every 30 minutes, a log entry is made. The ship's position, its speed, the weather conditions, all are recorded with quiet precision. The radar screen sweeps in a slow, hypnotic circle, its green line painting a picture of the empty sea around them. On the screen, the data scrolled without comment. This documentary is a journey into the mysteries that lie within this vast, dark world. We will move slowly, like this ship, and listen with care to the stories that the ocean has to tell. These are stories of strange lights, of impossible speeds, and of objects that seem to belong to either the air nor the sea. We will examine these stories not with sensationalism or fear, but with a calm and respectful curiosity. The ocean is the last great unexplored wilderness on Earth. Its deepest trenches are less understood than the surface of the moon. It is a place of immense pressure, of total darkness, and of life forms that seem alien to our sunlit world. It is, therefore, a natural place for mysteries. For every strange report, we will gently explore the known science. We will look at natural phenomena, at the tricks that light and sound can play, and at the secret technologies that humans themselves have created. Our goal is not to provide final answers, but to rest peacefully with the questions. We invite you to join us on this quiet voyage. Let the rhythmic sound of the waves be your guide. Let the deep hum of the ship be your anchor. The ocean breathes deep and slow. The night watch continues. Let us begin. Chapter 2. Lights above the black water. The open ocean at night is one of the darkest places on Earth. Far from the glow of cities, the sky reveals its true, brilliant depth. For the sailors and pilots who spend their lives in this environment, the patterns of the stars, the movement of the clouds, and the behavior of distant lights become as familiar as the faces of their own family. It is precisely this deep familiarity that makes an anomalous sighting so compelling. When a trained observer sees something that does not fit the pattern, it is worth paying attention. In recent years, declassified reports from military sources, particularly the U.S. Navy, have given us a new window into these strange events. These are not blurry photos from backyard telescopes. They are accounts from professional aviators and naval officers, often supported by data from advanced sensor systems. The stories they tell are remarkably consistent. A common account begins with a light, or a group of lights, appearing over the water. A pilot on a routine patrol might see something that at first looks like another aircraft. But as they watch, they realize it is behaving strangely. It might be hovering motionless against a strong wind, something a helicopter could do, but this object is silent. Or it might be moving at incredible speeds, far faster than any known jet, only to stop in an instant. These sudden accelerations and stops defy the known laws of physics. An object with mass cannot change its velocity so quickly without being destroyed by immense forces. The challenge of observing objects over the ocean is significant. With no trees, buildings, or mountains to provide a sense of scale, it is extremely difficult to judge an object's size, speed, or distance. A small object nearby can look identical to a large object far away. A slow-moving light at a low altitude can appear to be a fast-moving object high in the sky. The human eye and brain, so well adapted to life on land, can be easily fooled by the vast, featureless expanse of the sea. Consider a composite story, based on several real reports. 2 fighter pilots are on a training mission over the Pacific. Their radar picks up a contact, but it is behaving erratically. The target appears on the screen for a few seconds, then vanishes, only to reappear miles away. They are directed to investigate. As they approach the location, they see nothing on their radar, but one of the pilots spots something with his own eyes. A dark, spherical object is hovering just above the waves. It has no wings, no visible engines, no exhaust. It is perfectly still. As they fly closer, the object seems to react. It begins to ascend, matching their altitude. The pilots try to merge with it, to get a closer look. But as they do, the sphere accelerates away at a speed that is simply impossible. It disappears from sight in a matter of seconds. They return to their aircraft carrier, their fuel low, their minds racing. They have seen something that their training cannot explain. The data from their jets is downloaded and analyzed. It confirms their visual report. On the screen, the data scrolled without comment. These are not stories of alien creatures. They are sober, professional accounts of unidentified aerial phenomena, or UAPs. The mystery lies not in what they are, but in what they are not. They are not planes, not helicopters, not weather balloons. They are something else. The ocean breathes deep and slow. The sea keeps its secrets. Chapter 3. The line between air and ocean. The surface of the ocean is a boundary, a thin line separating two vast and different worlds. For a long time, the mysteries of the sky and the mysteries of the deep were seen as separate. But a new and compelling type of sighting has emerged, one that blurs this line. These are reports of transmedium objects, anomalies that can move seamlessly between the air and the water. One of the most well-known examples of this phenomenon occurred in 2013, off the coast of Aguadilla, Puerto Rico. A thermal imaging camera aboard a U.S. Customs and Border Protection aircraft recorded a remarkable event. The footage shows a small, spherical object flying low over the land, heading out to sea. It moves at high speed, up to 120 miles per hour, without any visible means of propulsion. It seems to fly with intelligent control, navigating through a built-up area before passing over the coastline. Then, the object does something extraordinary. It plunges directly into the ocean. On the thermal camera, the hot signature of the object simply disappears into the cooler water. There is no visible splash, no loss of speed, no sign of impact. A few moments later, the footage appears to show the same object, or another just like it, re-emerging from the water and continuing its flight. At one point, the object even seems to split into two separate parts, before merging back into one. The Aguadilla footage is compelling because it was captured by a sophisticated government sensor system. It is not just an eyewitness account. It is a piece of data. However, like all data, it must be interpreted with care. Skeptics have pointed out several factors that could offer a more conventional explanation. Infrared or thermal cameras do not see visible light. They see heat. The shape and size of an object on a thermal display can be misleading. A small, hot source, like the engine of a drone, can appear as a larger, spherical glow due to a phenomenon called blooming. This could explain the object's shape. The lack of a splash is also open to interpretation. The object was being viewed from a significant distance. A splash from a small object entering the water might be too small or too brief to be visible from that range. The camera's auto-gain feature, which automatically adjusts the image brightness, could also have masked the thermal signature of a splash. Some analysts have suggested the object could be a balloon that was simply pushed into the sea by the wind, or perhaps a new type of military drone designed for both air and sea operations. A diving bird, like a gannet, can also enter the water with very little splash. The Aguadilla case highlights the central challenge of investigating these phenomena. We have a piece of intriguing data that shows something behaving in a highly unusual way. But we also have a set of plausible, if not definitive, conventional explanations. We are left on the line between the known and the unknown. The idea of an object that can master both the sky and the sea is a powerful one. It speaks to a level of technology far beyond our own. The ocean's surface is not a barrier, but a doorway. The night watch continues. The sea keeps its secrets. Chapter 4, Sound Below. Let us now leave the world of light and air and descend into the deep ocean. This is a realm of immense pressure and eternal darkness. Here sight is useless. The primary sense is sound. For the crews of submarines and surface warships, the world is perceived through sonar, the use of sound waves to detect objects underwater. A trained sonar operator can identify the signature of another submarine, a school of fish, or a distant whale, just by listening to the pings and echoes that return to their sensors. For decades, these operators have been reporting another kind of contact, one that does not fit any known profile. They are called USOs, or unidentified submerged objects. The most common type of USO report is of a fast mover. This is a sonar contact that is tracked moving at speeds far beyond the capabilities of any known submarine or torpedo. The fastest nuclear submarines in the world can travel at speeds of around 40 to 45 miles per hour. These fast movers are sometimes tracked at hundreds, or even thousands of miles per hour underwater. The pressure of the water at depth is enormous. To move at such speeds would require an incredible amount of energy, and a hull strong enough to withstand forces that would crush any conventional vessel. Furthermore, these objects often perform maneuvers that are impossible for a submarine, such as making instantaneous right-angle turns or diving to extreme depths in a matter of seconds. As with strange lights in the sky, there are a number of natural and man-made phenomena that can create false sonar contacts. The ocean is not a uniform medium. It is made up of layers of water with different temperatures and salinities. These layers, known as thermoclines, can bend and reflect sound waves in strange ways. A sound can bounce off a thermal layer, creating a sonar ghost, an echo that appears to be a solid object where nothing actually exists. The ocean is also full of life, and this life can create confusing sonar signals. A large school of fish or a pod of whales can create a large and complex sonar target. The sound of snapping shrimp can create a constant background crackle that can mask other signals. During the Cold War, submarine crews often reported strange sonar contacts they called quakers. These were mysterious sounds that seemed to follow their submarines. For a long time, their origin was unknown, leading to speculation about secret Soviet technology. It is now widely believed that most quakers were caused by biological sources, such as whales or giant squid. However, the most compelling USO reports are those where a fast mover is tracked simultaneously by multiple sensors. For example, a sonar operator on a submarine might detect a high-speed contact, while at the same time, a surface ship miles away tracks the same object on its sonar. In some cases, an aircraft flying overhead might also detect a magnetic anomaly in the same location. When multiple, independent sensors all confirm the presence and behavior of an object, it becomes much harder to dismiss it as a sonar ghost or a school of fish. These reports from trained sonar operators are a crucial part of the ocean mystery. They suggest that something is moving in the deep, something with capabilities that we do not understand. On the sonar screen, the data scrolled without comment. The ocean breathes deep and slow. The night watch continues. Chapter 5. Blue Fire. The ocean is capable of creating its own light shows, spectacles of such strange and ethereal beauty that they can easily be mistaken for something not of this world. Before we look for extraterrestrial explanations for strange lights in the sea, we must first appreciate the magic of bioluminescence. This is the ability of living organisms to produce their own light through a chemical reaction. In the deep ocean, where no sunlight penetrates, it is the primary source of light. Imagine a ship sailing through a milky sea. For as far as the eye can see, the surface of the ocean is glowing with a soft, uniform, milky white light. It is as if the ship is sailing over a field of luminous clouds. This is a rare and mysterious phenomenon that has been reported by sailors for centuries. Scientists now believe that milky seas are caused by vast colonies of bioluminescent bacteria, trillions of them, all glowing in unison. The exact mechanism that triggers this mass illumination is still not fully understood, but it creates a scene of breathtaking and eerie beauty. To a sailor on a dark night, it could easily look like the ship is passing over a submerged, glowing city. Another common form of bioluminescence is the red tide. This is caused by a bloom of tiny organisms called dinoflagellates. By day, they can turn the water a reddish-brown color, but by night, when the water is disturbed, they flash with a brilliant blue-green light. A wave crashing on the shore can explode in a shower of blue sparks. The wake of a ship can create two glowing ribbons of light stretching out behind it. A dolphin swimming through the water can be outlined in a shimmering aura of light, its every movement traced in fire. Even individual creatures can put on a spectacular display. The jellyfish is a living lantern, pulsing with soft, gentle light as it drifts through the depths. Some species of squid can emit clouds of luminous ink to startle predators. In the abyssal plains, the anglerfish uses a glowing lure to attract its prey in the total darkness. The deep sea is a carnival of living lights. It is easy to see how these natural light shows could be mistaken for something more mysterious. A large mass of glowing plankton could be interpreted as a submerged craft with its lights on. A fast-moving UFO, if it was bioluminescent itself or was disturbing organisms as it moved, would appear as a streak of light, a glowing torpedo, shooting through the depths. This does not mean that all reports of underwater lights can be explained by bioluminescence. Some sightings involve lights that are described as being too bright, too focused, or too structured to be of natural origin. But understanding the power and variety of nature's own light shows provides a crucial context. The ocean is not a dark, empty void. It is a living, glowing world. To witness a massive bioluminescent event is to feel a sense of awe and wonder. It is a reminder that our planet is full of mysteries, that nature itself is more strange and beautiful than we can often imagine. It is a fire that is cooled to the touch, a light that is born of life itself. The sea keeps its secrets, but sometimes it shows them to us in a blaze of blue glory. Chapter 6. The ocean as a mirror. The ocean is not just a body of water. It is a lens, a mirror, a surface that can bend and distort light in the most surprising ways. The air above the ocean is not uniform. It is often layered, with cool, dense air near the water's surface and warmer, less dense air above it. These temperature layers act like a lens, bending light rays as they pass through. This bending of light, called refraction, is responsible for a host of beautiful and baffling optical illusions. One of the most famous is the Fata Morgana. This is a complex and dramatic form of superior mirage. It typically occurs when there is a strong temperature inversion, with a layer of warm air sitting on top of a layer of cold air. The Fata Morgana can make distant objects, like ships, islands, or icebergs, appear to be floating in the air, stretched and distorted into fantastical shapes like castles or spires. A distant fishing boat can be transformed into a towering, multi-layered structure that seems to hover just above the horizon. To an observer who doesn't understand the science, it would be easy to believe they are seeing a strange, levitating craft. Even a simple mirage can be confusing. On a calm, sunny day, you might see a distant ship that appears to have an inverted copy of itself floating beneath it, as if reflected in a mirror. This is an inferior mirage, caused by light from the ship bending upwards as it passes through the hot air near the water's surface. The ocean itself can act as a mirror. The reflection of a bright planet like Venus or Jupiter on a calm sea can appear as a light that seems to be in or on the water. As the waves move, the reflection can shimmer and dance, appearing to be a light source that is moving with intelligent control. The lights of a distant ship on the horizon can also be distorted by the atmosphere, appearing to be a single, large, hovering light rather than a collection of small, individual ones. These optical illusions are not hallucinations. They are real physical phenomena. The light is actually reaching the observer's eye from the direction where they see the mirage. The illusion is in the brain's interpretation of that light. Our brains are wired to assume that light travels in straight lines. When it doesn't, we are easily fooled. For sailors and pilots, understanding these illusions is a critical part of their training. They learn to recognize the conditions that create mirages and to be skeptical of what their eyes tell them, especially when looking at objects on the distant horizon. The Fata Morgana is named after the mythical sorceress Morgan Le Fay, who was said to have used witchcraft to create illusory castles in the air to lure sailors to their doom. The name is a testament to how powerful and convincing these illusions can be. They are a reminder that the world is not always as it seems. The air itself can be a trickster, painting false images on the canvas of the sky. The ocean is a mirror, reflecting not just the sky above, but our own capacity for wonder and misperception. The Night Watch continues. Chapter 7. Trenches and ranges. Not all parts of the ocean are created equal. When we look at a map of USO and UAP reports, we find that they are not randomly distributed. They tend to cluster in specific areas. These hotspots are often located in two very different, but equally mysterious, types of places: deep ocean trenches and restricted military test ranges. Let's first consider the trenches. The Mariana Trench, the Puerto Rico Trench, the Japan Trench. These are the deepest parts of our planet, chasms that plunge down for miles into the Earth's crust. They are places of unimaginable pressure, total darkness, and extreme cold. They are, in many ways, more alien and inaccessible to us than the surface of Mars. The idea that something could be living or hiding in these depths is a powerful and enduring one. If an advanced, non-human intelligence wanted to establish a base on Earth while remaining hidden from us, the bottom of a deep ocean trench would be an ideal location. It is a place we can barely reach with our most advanced robotic submarines. Any activity there would be almost impossible for us to detect. This has led to speculative theories about underwater alien bases, hidden cities in the abyss. While there is no evidence to support these claims, the trenches remain a potent symbol of the unknown. They represent the vastness of the ocean's mystery, the parts of our own world that are still a blank on the map. The second type of hotspot is, in many ways, the opposite of a natural wilderness. These are the highly controlled and highly secret military test ranges. Areas like the Atlantic Undersea Test and Evaluation Center, AUTEC, in the Bahamas, or the waters off the coast of Southern California, are hives of naval activity. These are the places where the world's most advanced navies test their newest submarines, torpedoes, drones, and sensor systems. It is no surprise that these areas are also hotspots for UAP and USO reports. When you have a high concentration of trained observers and advanced detection equipment, you are more likely to see things. And when you are in an area where secret, experimental technology is being tested, you are very likely to see things that you do not recognize. Many of the objects reported by Navy pilots and sailors, fast-moving, silent craft, transmedium vehicles, could plausibly be the next generation of our own technology. A secret unmanned aerial vehicle, or a new type of high-speed submarine drone, could easily be mistaken for something not of this world by a pilot or sailor who is not read in on the program. It is a standard and necessary part of military security to keep these advanced projects secret, even from other members of the military. So we have a fascinating paradox. USO and UAP reports cluster in the wildest, most unknown parts of our planet, and also in the most heavily monitored and technologically advanced parts. The mystery of the trenches is the mystery of nature. The mystery of the test ranges is the mystery of human secrecy. It is often impossible to know which one we are looking at. An anomalous sonar contact could be a life form from the abyssal plane that we have never seen before. Or it could be a brand new submarine drone on its first sea trial. The sea keeps its secrets, and so do we. Chapter 8. The old logbooks. The mystery of strange lights and objects at sea is not a modern phenomenon. It did not begin with the age of radar and fighter jets. For as long as humans have sailed the oceans, they have been reporting strange and inexplicable things. To understand the present mystery, it helps to look back at the past, to the pages of old naval logbooks and the accounts of sailors from centuries gone by. Let's travel back to the year 1492. Christopher Columbus is on his first voyage across the Atlantic. On the night of October 11th, just hours before making landfall in the Americas, Columbus and another sailor reported seeing a strange light. In his log he described it as a little wax candle that rose and lifted up. It appeared in the distance and then vanished and reappeared several times. He saw it as a sign that they were near land, but its true nature has been debated ever since. Some have suggested it was the torch of a native fisherman, or a form of bioluminescence. Others have seen it as one of the first recorded sightings of a UFO. Fast forward to the 19th century, the great age of sail. The logbooks of naval and merchant ships are filled with accounts of strange phenomena. One of the most common is the report of fiery wheels, or luminous discs, in the water. In 1880, the captain of the steamer Putna, sailing in the Persian Gulf, reported seeing two enormous, glowing wheels, one on each side of the ship. He estimated them to be over 500 meters in diameter. The wheels appeared to be revolving, their spokes of light cutting through the water. The phenomenon lasted for about 20 minutes before fading away. Similar reports of giant, rotating, luminous wheels have been made by many other ships over the years. The cause remains a mystery. Some scientists have speculated that they could be a complex and unusual form of bioluminescence, perhaps triggered by seismic activity on the seafloor. During World War II, pilots from all sides reported seeing strange balls of light that seemed to follow their aircraft, especially over the ocean. They called them UFO fighters. These lights, which could be red, white, or orange, would appear suddenly, pace their aircraft, and then disappear. They were playful, almost curious, and never displayed any hostile intent. At the time, pilots assumed they were some kind of secret enemy weapon. But after the war, it was discovered that both Allied and Axis pilots had been seeing them. The mystery of the UFO fighters has never been solved. Some have suggested they were a form of atmospheric electrical phenomenon, like St. Elmo's fire, a weather condition where stationary objects can appear to glow with a strange light. These historical accounts are fascinating because they show that the phenomenon we now call UAPs and UFOs has been with us for a long time. The language used to describe them changes with the technology of the age. Columbus saw a candle. The Victorians saw fiery wheels. The World War II pilots saw UFO fighters. Today, we see tic-tacs and spheres. But the core experience is the same, a trained observer witnessing a strange, luminous object behaving in ways that they cannot explain. These old logbooks are a whisper from the past, a reminder that the ocean has always been a place of wonder and mystery. The night watch continues. The sea keeps its secrets. Chapter 9. The shape of a sphere in the modern era of UAP investigation. Our understanding is shaped not just by eyewitness accounts, but by data from sophisticated sensor systems. In 2017, the world was captivated by the release of 3 videos from U.S. Navy fighter jets, which the Pentagon confirmed as authentic. These videos, known by their nicknames, Go Fast, Gimbal, and FLO-1, or Tic-Tac, have become iconic images of the modern UFO mystery. Let's look at them calmly, not as definitive proof of alien visitation, but as pieces of a complex puzzle. The videos were recorded using an advanced infrared targeting pod called an unexplored. As we have discussed, infrared cameras see heat, not visible light, and they can produce images that are difficult to interpret. In the gimbal video, we see a dark, saucer-shaped object flying against the wind over the ocean. The pilots are audibly amazed. One exclaims, "Look at that thing!" The object then appears to rotate on its axis, a maneuver that prompted one pilot to say, "There's a whole fleet of them." However, subsequent analysis by skeptics has shown that this apparent rotation is likely an artifact of the infrared camera's gimbal system. As the camera swivels to track the object, the glare from the object's heat signature rotates within the camera's optics, creating the illusion that the object itself is rotating. The fleet of objects was likely just this rotating glare. In the Go Fast video, we see a small, round object skimming at high speed just above the surface of the ocean. The pilots are again impressed by its speed. However, analysis has shown that the object's speed may be an illusion. By using the data on the display screen, it is possible to calculate that the object is at a relatively high altitude, and therefore moving much more slowly than it appears. Its apparent speed is a trick of parallax. The spherical shape, again, could simply be the glare from a small, hot object. The most compelling of the three videos is FLO-1, which shows the famous Tic-Tac object. It is a smooth, white, oblong shape with no wings or visible propulsion. It hovers and then accelerates away at an incredible speed. The testimony of the pilots who saw it with their own eyes, like Commander David Fravor, is a crucial part of this case. They describe its movements as otherworldly. But even here, we must be cautious. The object is seen from a great distance, a small, blurry shape on a screen. What is interesting is that many of these modern UAP sightings, including the Aguadilla case, involve spherical objects. The sphere is a perfect, fundamental shape, but it is also the shape that glare and optical blooming tend to produce. A small, distant, hot object will often appear as a sphere on an infrared camera. However, the story is not that simple. In many of these cases, the objects were tracked not just on one sensor, but on multiple systems simultaneously. The Tic-Tac, for example, was first detected on the advanced radar of the USS Princeton, a guided missile cruiser. It was then seen visually by the pilots, and tracked on their own aircraft radar, as well as on the infrared camera. When multiple, independent sensor systems all confirm the presence and behavior of an object, it becomes much more difficult to dismiss it as a simple sensor artifact or glare. These videos are not a smoking gun. They are a starting point for a serious scientific inquiry. They give us data to analyze, questions to ask, and a genuine, persistent mystery to explore. On the screen, the data scrolled without comment. Chapter 10. Cities under the waves. The idea of a secret world hidden beneath the waves is a powerful and ancient one. From Plato's myth of Atlantis to Jules Verne's vision of Captain Nemo's Nautilus, we have long been fascinated by the possibility of life, and even civilization, in the deep ocean. In the modern UFO era, this fascination has taken the form of theories about underwater alien bases. The logic is simple. If an alien civilization wanted to observe us without being easily detected, where would they go? The deep ocean offers the perfect hiding place. It is vast, remote, and largely inaccessible to us. An underwater base could be established in a deep trench or a remote seamount, far from prying eyes. From this hidden sanctuary, they could send out smaller craft to explore our world, both above and below the water. This theory has been fueled by the discovery of strange, geometric-looking formations on the seafloor. With the advent of modern sonar mapping, we have been able to create detailed 3D maps of the ocean bottom. These maps have revealed features that, to some, look artificial. One famous example is a structure found off the coast of Malibu, California. Bathymetric maps show a large, oval-shaped plateau with what appear to be pillars or columns supporting a flat roof. To believers in underwater bases, this Malibu anomaly is a clear sign of an artificial structure, an entrance to a hidden city. However, geologists have a much simpler and more natural explanation. The structure is a known geological feature called the Magoo Seamount. It is a natural rock formation shaped by millions of years of volcanic activity and erosion. The pillars are simply ridges of harder rock that have resisted erosion more than the surrounding material. The ocean floor is full of such strange and wonderful shapes. Basalt columns, formed when lava cools rapidly, can create perfectly hexagonal pillars that look as if they were carved by an intelligent hand. We must also consider the immense logistical challenges of building and maintaining a base in the deep ocean. The pressure is crushing. The temperature is near freezing. There is no air and no light. A base would require a continuous and enormous source of power, a way to manufacture or import resources, and a way to deal with waste. While not impossible for a civilization with technology far beyond our own, it would be a monumental undertaking. So, while the idea of underwater cities is a captivating one, we must approach it with a gentle and grounded skepticism. It is a form of modern myth-making, a way of projecting our hopes and fears onto the great blank canvas of the deep sea. The real wonder is not in the imaginary cities we build in our minds, but in the strange and beautiful geological world that actually exists at the bottom of the ocean. We can explore these theories with a sense of playfulness and wonder, without needing to believe they are literally true. They are a reflection of our enduring fascination with the ocean and its mysteries. They are a way of asking a profound question. What if the greatest secret of the ocean is not what is visiting from above, but what has been here all along? The ocean breathes deep and slow. Chapter 11. What remains unexplained. We have journeyed from the dark surface of the ocean to its deepest trenches. We have listened to the stories of sailors and pilots, and we have explored the calm, rational explanations offered by science. We have seen how bioluminescence can create phantom lights, how the atmosphere can bend light to create mirages, and how our own secret technology can be mistaken for something alien. After this long and quiet voyage, what are we left with? For a large number of UAP and USO reports, these conventional explanations are sufficient. Many sightings can be confidently attributed to misidentification of known objects, natural phenomena, or sensor errors. The UFO literature is filled with cases that were once mysterious, but have since been solved. And yet, after all the explanations have been offered, after all the data has been analyzed, a small number of cases remain. This is what investigators call the residue. These are the high-quality sightings, often made by multiple, credible witnesses, and supported by sensor data, that defy easy explanation. These are cases like the USS Nimitz, Tic-Tac incident. We have multiple, highly trained fighter pilots who saw the object with their own eyes. We have radar data from an advanced naval cruiser and from the fighter jets themselves. We have the infrared video. And we have a consistent narrative of an object that performed maneuvers that are, by our current understanding, impossible. Skeptics have offered explanations for parts of the incident, but no single theory has been able to account for all the evidence in a satisfactory way. These are cases like the Aguadilla thermal video. While parts of it can be explained by camera artifacts or distance, the object's overall behavior, its speed, its apparent transmedium capability, its seeming ability to split in two, remains deeply puzzling. These are the accounts from sonar operators of fast movers, tracked on multiple ships, moving at speeds of hundreds of miles per hour through the crushing pressure of the deep sea. While some sonar ghosts are to be expected, the consistency and quality of some of these reports are difficult to dismiss. This small residue of unexplained cases is the heart of the modern UAP mystery. It is important to be clear about what this residue represents. It is not proof of extraterrestrial visitation. The leap from unexplained to alien is a large one, and it is not supported by the evidence. The residue is simply a collection of data points that do not fit our current models of the world. To acknowledge this residue is not to surrender to sensationalism. It is to practice good science. Science is not about having all the answers. It is about being comfortable with uncertainty, and about having the courage to say, "We don't know." These unexplained cases are an invitation to curiosity. They point to the edges of our knowledge, to the places where new discoveries might be waiting. The focus should not be on proving aliens, but on appreciating the persistence of a valid and fascinating mystery. The ocean of the unknown is vast, and our island of knowledge is small. To stand on the shore of that island and look out into the darkness is not a sign of failure. It is a sign of a mind that is open, curious, and alive. The sea keeps its secrets, and some of them, for now, remain its own. Chapter 12. a quiet conclusion by the rail. Our journey is coming to an end. The research vessel Stellamar continues its slow passage through the night. The hum of the engines is a steady, comforting presence. On the deck by the rail, the air is cool and tastes of salt. The sea is calm, a dark, breathing expanse under a sky filled with countless stars. It is a time for quiet reflection. We have explored the strange connection between the ocean and the phenomenon of unidentified objects. We have heard the stories of lights in the sky and sounds in the deep. We have weighed the accounts of sincere witnesses against the calm, rational explanations of science. We have sailed through seas of blue fire and looked into the deceptive mirror of the atmosphere. We have visited the secret worlds of deep ocean trenches and military test ranges. We are left not with a single, simple answer, but with a rich and complex tapestry of mystery. We have learned that the ocean itself is a world of wonders, capable of producing phenomena so strange that they can easily be mistaken for something from another world. We have learned that our own senses and our own technologies can be fooled. And we have learned that our own human world of secrecy and conflict can create mysteries of its own. And yet, we are also left with a small, persistent residue of the genuinely unexplained, a collection of events that seem to hint at a reality that is larger and stranger than our current understanding. Perhaps the greatest lesson the ocean can teach us is humility. It is the cradle of life on our planet, the engine of our climate, and it is still, after centuries of exploration, almost entirely unknown to us. We have better maps of Mars than we do of our own seafloor. The ocean is a constant reminder of the limits of our knowledge. The ship moves on, a small point of light on a dark, breathing sea. The waves whisper against the hull, a language older than words. And in the great quiet of the ocean, the questions rest, waiting for a new day, or perhaps for no day at all. It is enough to listen. It is enough to wonder. It is enough to sleep.